And the Grammy goes to Lainey Wilson.
Lainey Wilson.
Lainey Wilson.
Lainey Wilson has been racking up one award after another over the last year or so, and everything she touches turns to gold. However, that wasn't always the case. Lainey has struggled to get where she is now.
I've been in this town for 12 and a half years, and it finally feels like country music is starting to love me back.
But not everyone is convinced if the hype around her is justified, with some even calling her an industry plant. Today we break down the criticism around Lainey Wilson on Country Beat Daily. Before we go ahead, please do hit the subscribe button for your daily dose of everything country. Lainey's critics have cited various reasons for why they think she is an industry plant, and we decided to go through hundreds of such comments on discussion boards and social media to narrow it down to the three biggest problems that Lainey's critics have with her and share our take on it from a more neutral perspective. First up, the elephant in the room, or Lainey's Morgan Wallen problem. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Lainey has anything personal against Wallen, but a lot of criticism towards Lainey started off with Morgan Wallen's fan club lashing out at her when he lost out on the Entertainer of the Year award at 2023 CMA Awards. And it's difficult to argue on some of the points raised against Lainey. Lainey cannot consistently sell out a 70,000-seater stadium like Wallen. He had more success on radio or streaming by a mile, with Billboard putting him at the top of the charts for 2023, while Lainey was 4 places below. Lainey's Heart Like a Truck was the 13th most popular country song in 2023 as per Billboard, while Wallen had 2 in the top 10. Wallen is an entertainer, a much bigger one than Lainey, and there's no denying that. His problem? Awards are not decided on popularity. It's typically decided by members of the award associations, and his troubles with the law and the media have gone against him. Even a CMA voter spoke out about it when he regretted not having cast his vote at CMA that year. So it turns out that it's less about Lainey being bad or unpopular, and maybe more to do with the frustration of Wallen's fans getting transformed into hatred for her. After all, she did get 750 million streams on her album Bell Bottom Country and has created a few records of her own on country radio. Moving on to the next spike in the criticism that came Wilson's way after a Grammys win. Now the Morgan Wallen argument doesn't really work here because even his fans acknowledge that his relationship with Grammys is fractured. Here, Lainey's critics feel that Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers, or Kelsey would have been more deserving, some even claiming that Kelsey looked annoyed on losing out to Lainey. I think Zach, Tyler, Kelsey, and Lainey are all doing well for themselves and have their own fan base. It's just too subjective to say why one is better than another. And one also has to keep in mind that Zach and Tyler's success is built more on streaming. Zach has even topped all genre streaming charts with his more recent work, while Lainey has found success more evenly spread out across radio and streaming. Kelsey, again a very talented artist, might have faced an even bigger backlash if she won, given her liberal stance on certain matters that may not go down well with some sections of country fans. The point here being that no matter who won, it is almost impossible to keep everyone pleased. Moving on to the third and possibly the most commonly repeated criticism you will come across on social media. Many believe that it's all an act. Her accent, her small town farmer backstory, her bell bottoms, to her haters it's all fake. And they believe Lainey got everything served on a platter, either because of being on the show Yellowstone or due to some evil corporate forces at play in the music industry. And this is the one that I find most difficult to understand. I get the hate from some frustrated fans of another singer, but to ignore her struggles and hard work is simply unfair. Here are some facts about Lainey. She was raised in Baskin, Louisiana, town of 250 people. Her father, Brian, was a fifth-generation farmer, while her mother, Michelle, was a school teacher. Lainey has also worked on the farm with her father, and that's why she is as country as they come. And there's nothing she can do about an accent she has because of where she's from. She moved to Nashville in 2011. That's 13 years before the Grammys and CMAs and ACM wins. Her first major publishing deal was signed in 2018 with Sony, and she didn't make it to Yellowstone before 2022, 2 years after several of her first songs were featured on the show. It took her 13 years to get to the top, and her journey in Nashville started in this camper van where she spent a good 3 years of her life. She slept in 3 jackets and 3 pairs of socks to stay warm during winters. American Idol and The Voice rejected her multiple times, as confirmed by even Idol judge Luke Bryan, but she persevered. Yes, her small-town upbringing, industry struggles have become recurring themes in her interviews, but that's also because the media loves to serve those stories. So what's my final verdict on Lainey being labeled an industry plant by her critics? Well, you cannot refute the argument that Morgan Wallen is the biggest entertainer in country music right now. But it's his actions beyond music that contributed to Lainey's wins at the various award shows. The clean sweeps at some of the award shows are also questionable. The new generation of country music has more than a few equally deserving candidates. I am sure Lainey herself would admit it. And yes, she does appear to be the chosen one as the next female face of country music, as Miranda and Carrie are not getting younger by the day. But she worked hard to become that face of country music, and calling her an industry plant is unfair and is disrespectful to someone who struggled for 13 years to become an overnight sensation. What are your thoughts on Lainey's success story? Let us know in comments, and please do hit the like and subscribe buttons before you go.